Now let's transition over into the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bills ultimately end up beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. The first dominant road victory that we have had, maybe besides the Jets game week 2. But it was something that Buffalo needed as far as a fan base to show that this team is willing to adjust. And first off, I would like to give credit to where I think credit is deserved. Shout out to the defense, dude. Shout out to the damn defense for finally going to the drawing board and understanding that adjustments needed to be made to consistently stop the run. And what I saw from this team is increasing on a significant margin, implementing base coverage. Very oftentimes you saw this team, who is known as a nickel type defense, and really not rolling out that third linebacker. And this might be a tough conversation for many, but based off of how Shaq Thompson has been playing for this team right now, it's very hard for me to justify giving significant snaps to Terrell Bernard once he gets off of the IR, or excuse me, once he gets off of the injury report. He's out there. He's moving. He just operates a hell of a lot better as your Mike linebacker. Dorian Williams and, of course, with Matt Milano were out there doing whatever they could to slow down Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. And I absolutely love to see it. I just hope that the coaching staff agrees with me, and I hope that they implement that moving forward, because you got to look at how this league is going to be making this transition. You are getting to a point right now where December football is an entire different animal, especially once you start accounting for the elements. And you know that teams are still going to test us against the run. That's ultimately what you need to do. Another giant shout out right to the Bills secondary. Very good secondary this year. With Christian Benford, he is finally getting back to where he was. Maxwell Harrison is out there doing very well. Even Tre'Davious White has looked semi-passable for being your rotational CB2. Love what I saw from this defense, and I want to continue to see that. All they need to do is just commit to sort of making a slight identity shift into more predominantly your base type defense, and I trust our secondary to where, as long as we sell out against the run, we could have more performances like this. Let's see if the coaching staff decides to commit right to these changes. As far as the offense is concerned, my buddy Kevin said it perfectly, right? Earlier today on the Bills Roundtable, a lot of Bills fans are way too quick to throw Joe Brady under the bus with the style of offense that he runs. But you need to understand something, and he laid this out perfectly. This Bills offense wasn't made or constructed to compete and be consistent in the months of September and October. This was constructed to be competitive in December, right? Many people love talking about the Dorsey days or the Dable days, etc., where if you were to shut down the pass in these inclement weather positions, with the Buffalo Bills had no ability of being able to run the football, right? Now that you ultimately have this dink and dunk, make Josh Allen take what the defense gives him, hammer in on the run game, that is the recipe for winning. And this offense was built to be competitive in these months, in December, in the playoffs going forward. So I personally love the way that this offense is constructed. A lot of people are out there trying to give themselves an aneurysm or sitting there and yelling at a wall for absolutely no reason whatsoever about how we don't have a weapon. We don't have the best GM for building a roster, or it's Joe Brady this or it's Joe Brady that, because a lot of you guys are incapable of ever putting any shit on Josh Allen. I have no idea why. He doesn't know who you are. I promise you, you're not going to offend him. But how it operates is identifying what this team is. This team runs the football effectively. We are the number one rushing offense in the league. And the only difference from this year and last year was a significant increase in the Buffalo Bills turning the football over. You look at each and every single loss we had, folks, 3 turnovers was the number. 3 was the number. That is the only statistical proof that you can point out as into why Buffalo has lost games in the past. It's how it is. It's true. Sit there and say, oh no, watch the film. You don't watch film. Okay. Like, you watch YouTube channels that watch film, who pick 7 plays to spin their narrative. It's only 15% of the overall action. And you end up drawing conclusions on a very small piece of the pie, of the very small piece of what tells the full story. So while the first half was frustrated with that awful interception from Josh, and some people who were in absolute denial saying that it was on Gabe Davis. I'm going to pull my damn hair out on that one. With the James Cook fumble toward the half, this team did exactly what I wanted them to do, what I have been pounding the table for them to do in the second half, and I'm so glad that they did. Josh Allen took what the defense gave him, ladies and gents. He took what the defense gave him, and he ultimately ended up riding with Khalil Shakir in yak situations, James Cook, multiple different run looks, which is insane, spamming the same duos run over and over and over again. I'm not mad at a predictable offense, because what is often really overhyped by a lot of the national media is, oh, this team is predictable offensively. What you need to understand is that it takes a very elite set of personnel to execute it. You heard it yourself from TJ Watt last night, where he was on the podium and he said, Buffalo was running the same play over and over again, and we just couldn't stop it. Okay, we just couldn't stop what the Buffalo Bills were doing. That is the case for most of the teams in the NFL. I got to tell you, that is the case for most of the teams in the NFL. So I'm not pissed that Joe Brady likes running on first and second down. We're one of the best rushing offenses on first and second down in the damn league. We are number one. So I'm not mad about how this DNA is perceived. But one thing I will say, quality win, still want to clean up the turnovers. Luckily, we didn't get to that 3 mark, and so we only ended up walking away with 2. We were able to get some turnovers ourselves. And why I'm confident in Josh Allen and why I'm confident in this offense, why I'm confident in Joe Brady is that, again, this team's DNA was successful and was built to compete in the months of December. And that is the recipe for success. I'm looking at this schedule moving forward, and I feel very confident in this game. I feel very, very confident. Really, really do. And I'm going to go out and say this. I don't think that we lose another game. I genuinely
I feel like I've heard this story before, Dan.
You gonna say that again?
Genuinely,
How many times have
it.
we heard Dan say that?
Again?
I'm doubling down. I'm doubling down right now.
Tripling down.
I'm doubling down. I think the Buffalo Bills ultimately end up finishing 13-4. I mean, I do. Like, y'all are laughing at me, but wait until I'm right. Yeah, wait until I'm right. So the Bills are going to go 13-4, and we'll probably be the 5th seed.
I'm
Fifth
not
seed
waiting
at 13-4.
Man, stop this. Stop this mess, Dan.
13-4, baby.
Can I go? Please?
One win.
It's trends, right? It's trends from what I ultimately end up seeing from the said organization, right? Like, that's what it is. Like, I'm not just pulling shit out of my ass here, right? Like, I spend a lot of time constructing game plans for this team. I don't know if you guys have been watching. I'm not a coach for this team, okay? Sometimes when I go out and I say, hey, you know what? If Buffalo does this and does that and does this and does that, they should win, like barring 3 turnovers. So as long as Buffalo can clean up their turnover situation, which I'm hoping that they can, yes, they will not lose another game. That is the only thing that has been hurting this team all season is turnovers. We end up going through the rest of the season with at most 1 turnover per game. We go undefeated. The only time that we lose a game moving forward is as if we end up crossing that threshold of 2+ turnovers. And Buffalo is very good at protecting the football statistically throughout the past couple of years in the month of December. I'm standing on business. I will die on that hill. It's a weird hill to die on. I understand, but here I am as a grown man ready for war. TD.
All right. Okay. The Bills got a good win. Pittsburgh is a good team, in my opinion. They're a solid team. The Bills got a good win, but I am so unimpressed with the win. And let me explain why. Because in my opinion, okay, so all y'all Bills fans just about to get mad at me. It's just my opinion. I'm being honest here. This game came down to 1 play. And that was the sack fumble on Rodgers.
Bosa, baby.
That was the game right there, because you have to understand who Pittsburgh is as a team. Pittsburgh don't mind the low score. Pittsburgh will battle it out defensively all game and try to make their move at the end if they can. If it's a shootout, it's a shootout. But Pittsburgh is all about, I'm fine with the low-scoring game. And Dan Mitchell, was this not setting up to be a low-scoring game? Halftime 7-3?
Yes.
And Pittsburgh was up. You were playing Pittsburgh football. Pittsburgh had you right where they wanted you. Keep it low score. Keep it close. Halftime 7-3. Let's go out in the second half and duplicate. It don't matter if we win 14-6. This is how we want to win. We know we could stop them. They can stop us. But we'll break through more than they will. The Bills turned the football over as well. They threw the interception to start the game. Pittsburgh couldn't capitalize off of it. Excellent defense by the Bills. That's what won you the game more than anything. Because here's what happened in this game. When Aaron Rodgers had that sack fumble, you then took the lead. You took the lead off a sack fumble, not because your offense did anything. Not because anything happened spectacular like Buffalo started to dominate it. No, you took the lead off of that one play, right? The very next play for Pittsburgh, the backup quarterback throws an interception. McDermott now sees blood in the water. So what happens? If that sack fumble never happened, McDermott would have never gone for it on 4th and 1. McDermott knew I'm up 10-7. They're in shambles trying to figure out Aaron Rodgers' hand. Let me go for it on 4th and 1. Otherwise, he would have kicked the field goal. But y'all went for it on 4th and 1 because of the circumstance in which you got it, and game was over from there. Now you got Pittsburgh playing out of their normal territory from behind, trying to make big plays, and it got worse and worse. That's whenever you all started to run the ball well. They started to get worn out. That's exactly what happened in this game. So that the defense really did their thing in this game. You threw Pittsburgh in a position that they were never going to recover from, but they never wanted to get in that position, but you got them there. So congratulations to the Bills, Bosa in particular. That play flipped the trajectory and decision-making on both sides of the field goal. I'm telling you, it's the fumble play and that 4th down that y'all went for it. You wouldn't have went for it if y'all were down 7-3. But you're up 10-3, go for it. Go for it. They're in shambles right now. They don't even know who's going to be coming out taking the next quarterback snaps. That's what happened in that game. And you got to give it up to Bosa and the execution of Buffalo after they smelt that blood in the water. They put their foot on their neck at that point.
So I feel like you also need to give credit as well, because when you're looking at that game from an outside perspective and somebody that's more so of a hater, right? Like you see that it's 35-mile-an-hour winds, right? Like you're thinking like, holy shit, like Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell are about to rush for 300 yards apiece. Something along those lines. So
defense, they did a good job, man.
Yeah. Like my biggest thing for this team, I'm not fucking concerned about the offense. Like people just hammering on Joe Brady's play calling. Like what else do you want? Like we're top 5 in the league for points per game. Like, I mean, what do you want? Right. We're still top 10 in pass yards per game. Right. Like maybe there's a downtick, but it's turnovers. That's the problem. My thing was run defense. And that was my true concern. I was just like, holy shit, like when is this team going to do something? And they made adjustments. Like maybe it's against Warren and maybe it's against Kenneth Gainwell, but at the exact same time, man, like we let Sean Tucker run all over us in Tampa Bay a couple of weeks ago.
Sorry,
we've had bums like run against us. So I'm happy.
Hey,
who? Yeah. Maybe I'm disrespecting Sean Tucker with this.
A good guy.
But yeah. What I needed to see was the defenses or that defense to make adjustments to make me feel pretty good. And what is pouring gasoline on my confidence too is that these types of games where there's 30, 35-mile-an-hour winds, like snow, etc., like this is where Buffalo excels, is when like weather starts getting super shitty. So feeling good.
And not gonna lose another game, you said?
Yeah. No, man. Listen, I don't. It's supposed to be snowing. It's supposed to be snowing in Buffalo on Sunday.
Remember the last time the Bills hosted the Bengals and it was snowing?
We're talking about four vert Ken Dorsey. It was the complete opposite extreme where we couldn't run the ball, but we could throw the football downfield.
You remember what happened last time it was snowing hard in Buffalo when they hosted the Bengals?
I'm waiting on Dan to answer the question.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
What was the iPhone back then? Like,
wow. Dan,
Was the iPhone 12, I think, was the hottest phone on the market then or something like that? Like
Bengals right now?
TD, if you didn't know, that was the playoffs game I'm referring to.
Yeah, it was the playoff game. And look, with TD, I'm pretty sure you had the Pittsburgh Steelers beating us.
No, you
And so
don't
on
remember my
Sunday, too.
prediction?
I'm pretty sure you said that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat us.
Well, I didn't know if Aaron Rodgers
always
was playing or not, remember?
He always
Yeah,
picks
he
against
played.
the Bills. But let's remember what did I say when Aaron Rodgers fractured his off wrist, and he's going to play through it? That the big problem he's going to have is protecting the football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what happened? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly what I said. Like, you're like, oh, it's his non-throwing hand. No big deal. He's going to be able to play through it. Yeah, I mean, Rodgers is tough as nails. Like, that's the one thing about Aaron Rodgers. Always been that way. Fights through injuries. Even with the Jets last year, he played while he was injured. That's who he is. But he has a cast on his left hand, bro. And the ball security is something that, if you're the Bills, you should be aware of that. And boy, were they aware of it, and they took advantage of it. That play, TD just said it perfectly, was the difference. That strip sack, scoop and score, that was the game. Like, the Steelers are not built to come from behind for multiple scores. It was, what was the score at that point? It was 10-7 Bills, and then that made it 17-7. Like, that was the nail in the coffin.
10-7 Bills. That made it 10-7, but then the quarterback came out and threw a pick right away.
And Mason Rudolph, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so it was 7-3. They were losing, and then that scoop score made it 10-7 Bills. Yeah, that was the difference. So kudos to the Bills for being opportunistic, and that's what good teams do. They got to take advantage of something, and really bad first half, another Josh Allen interception, another turnover. And I think that at the end of the day, I mean, they took advantage of a Pittsburgh Steelers team that's hit a lull right now, and going on the road in Pittsburgh is never easy. And now the Bills, like, this AFC is really up for grabs. And even from a wild card standpoint, like, the Bills are in the playoffs right now. You have the AFC South all of a sudden is like up for grabs. The AFC West and the AFC South is really interesting because you have three teams in each division that you can argue can make the playoffs. And then the AFC East has two playoff teams potentially. And then you have the AFC North, where there's not going to be a team in that division that even makes the playoffs from a wild card standpoint, which is mind-blowing, by the way. It's never been that way, right? When's the last time in the AFC North did not have a wild card team make the playoffs? But that's the crazy thing about it. So you look at the Bills' schedule: Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles, Jets. So 5 games left. And then let me just look at something real quick. So when the Bills beat the Chiefs, what did Dan say? Running the table, brother. And then what happened the next week, Dan?
Running the table.
Who'd you lose to? The Dolphins.
It was the Dolphins afterwards.
They knew that. They knew that.
All I'm saying, Dan, is whenever you get that one big win, you always like to say we're winning out, we're not losing again. So I will just pause a little bit. I will wait to see some more things. Let's not forget what happened a week before against the Texans. You know, I understand the tough defense, bad matchup, but I would pump the brakes a little bit. You got a new version of the Bengals coming to town. The Patriots, of course, on the road is going to be a tough game. And the Browns, you struggled against the Texans with an elite defense. But the one thing the Browns do have is that the Eagles are going to be fighting for something at that stage of the season. And then the Jets are just red hot at that point. That's when Aaron Glenn's peaking at like week 18. That's like when we see the full fulfillment of the New York Jets. But all jokes aside, you know, big win for the Bills. And they are definitely, you know, going to make the playoffs as a wild card team. And that was a big win for them.
Damn, big win. Big
You
win
might
indeed.
have 4 more losses, Dan. I'm gonna give you 3, but it could be 4.
Colby, what do you got?
I look at this game, and man, I was there with my girlfriend. We're at the Cheesecake Factory. We're doing a little bit of shopping after Black Friday.
Cheesecake.
I didn't eat cheesecake. I didn't eat cheesecake, but we're at the Cheesecake Factory, man. I mean, that place is so underrated. But anyway, we're sitting down. I'm watching this game, and she's telling me, put your phone away. You know, hang up and hang out. And I'm like, I can't. It's the AFC East on the line. I got to watch the game. And we're going into halftime, and I'm like, wow. The Buffalo Bills are really about to lose this game. Like, back-to-back games. This is absolutely insane. This is not their identity against a Pittsburgh team, which I think they're middle of the pack. I think they're good enough to be able to win games, but I also think that the Pittsburgh Steelers team, we've always seen, it doesn't matter the roster. They always have the potential to be good enough to just barely squeeze in the playoffs, but they're not really a team you're scared of. And right now, they're not in the playoffs. Right now, they have a 30% chance at making the postseason. Like Richie said, they've hit a lull, and they've hit a really, really hard lull. But you guys were able to come out in the second half of football and really turn around the momentum, because I don't want to say the season was on the line for the Buffalo Bills, but in some ways, the postseason was kind of on the line. You guys had to get back on track. And I think football is a big game of momentum. You guys didn't have a lot of momentum. You guys lost last week against Davis Mills. You guys were losing the first half of this football game. But your defense comes up. Bosa makes a big play. It changes the atmosphere of the football game. And you guys, after that play, got all the momentum and you went on a roll. Josh Allen didn't have to do a whole lot early on in this game. It was a turnover fest. I mean, James Cook turning the football over a couple times. Josh Allen with a terrible interception. It was what we've seen from Buffalo through several of their losses this season. But again, you guys rallied around the football, you switched the momentum, you came back, and James Cook really was, despite those 2 fumbles, really was the outlier of this game that allowed you to win this football game. I mean, some good runs up the middle, but he was unstoppable when running to the outside, and that's what allowed Josh Allen to not really have to do a whole lot in this game. You didn't ask Josh Allen to win you this football game. You said, defense, James Cook, you're going to win us this football game, and that's exactly what you did. I think you're going to have a lot harder opponents for the remainder of the season, but you needed this game to get back on track, keep yourself in the playoff picture, and that's exactly what you did. Dan, it doesn't matter. Okay, I want to make this clear. It does not matter how many games the Buffalo Bills win this season. I don't care if you win out the rest of the season. I don't care if you just barely squeeze into the playoffs by 1 game. All you have to do is win enough games to get to the postseason. And when you do, that's where you have to play your best football. This idea that if you go undefeated in the regular season, that you're going to go to the Super Bowl and win it, it's not correct. Okay, we've seen that from several teams in the past. Just get to the postseason, be good enough, and then play your best football there.
Before we get into our last caller, got to give a shout out to Sleeper for being the proud sponsor tonight. You guys can go check them out. Monday Night Football is about to kick off in like 20 minutes. So make sure you guys go check out Sleeper for 100% deposit match up to $100. Use code RTS for everything, man. Sleeper, you get a $20 deposit. You got a lot of fun bets. Patriots, Giants tonight, more or less. Build a parlay, win up to 100x your money. Terms and conditions apply, of course. If you guys click the link at the top of the chat, you'll get a code RTS, and you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100.